The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What's up, and welcome to Cowboys StoryLine. I am Nick Eatman. It's time to talk Cowboys football here for another hour. And we got some news going on here. The Cowboys are making some moves, at least one trade, maybe some more on this election day for the Cowboys, for the world, actually, for the United States, of course. But the Cowboys are making some moves as well, see if they can add to this football team, see what kind of changes they can make as well. Looks like the Cowboys are going to acquire wide receiver Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers. That move is finalizing as we speak here. Looks like the Cowboys are going to trade a 4th-round pick next year, 2025, for Mingo and a 7th-round pick in 2025. So swapping a 4th and a 7th, getting Mingo, who was a 2nd-round pick last year for the Panthers. So that's what we've talked about all along. You're going to make a move like this, see if it's a guy that's more than just this year. And that's what this one is. Mingo, 4-year contract's got 2 years remaining on the deal after this season. So we'll see. You know, he's a young player they liked coming out of Ole Miss. He hasn't developed, obviously, like they wanted to. Then again, who could in Carolina with that situation with their quarterback. So, you know, I think that they're looking at it from that standpoint, like this is some good talent. Let's put them around, you know, another great receiver and CD and Dak and all that, and have a couple of years to go. So, you know, right now I understand the move. This isn't one of those moves that you're like, this makes us completely better. Oh, Cowboys are going for it. But I think it could be considered a smart move when you consider that they're going to need wide receiver help next year, and they're getting a guy that they like, you know, for a 4th-round pick, a guy that they think has 2nd-round talent at least, or maybe even more than that. All right, 888-855-2297 is the number to call. We got a lot of news today. Not just that, Jerry Jones did say on his radio show Tuesday morning that he expects Dak Prescott to go to IR. It's a 4-week IR at least, so that just goes to show where the nature of that injury is when Dak's hamstring, and you knew it would be if they're taking him out of the game that quickly. It's going to be a situation that is going to be more than a week or two, and in this case, it looks like it's going to be 4. From a standpoint of Micah Parsons, though, and maybe Deron Bland, Zeke Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, those guys are expected to play this week. We'll see what happens with practice with Bland and Micah, but still a good sign that those guys have a shot to get back on the field. All right, let's start with our phone calls today. We're going all the way to England. Mike in Birmingham, England. What's up, Mike?
Good afternoon, Nick. Good morning where you are. Nice to speak to you again.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. We're on opposite sides tonight. It's Swansea City against Watford, so may the best team win. Jonathan Mingo, that's an interesting one. I'm going to cut Jerry a little bit of slack here because he's getting an absolute pasting on Twitter. This is not what we need. Why are we trading a 4th and so on. I'm not going to tell you that Jonathan Mingo is a wonderful player. To be honest, I hadn't heard of him until about 20 minutes ago. But he's been playing for a terrible team. He's very, very cheap. And we know that if Cooks isn't coming back, we're going to need a receiver. We'd have probably been drafting one anyway. So I'm just going to wait and see and not rush to judgment. But, just wondering on what your take is on it. You see this as a positive move? Have you seen Mingo at all? And what have we got ourselves?
Yeah. I don't. Do you have another call or do you have another question?
No, just on that one.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the call. We'll clear up the lines here and keep moving. But thanks for the call, Mike from Birmingham, England. My thought on Mingo is. You know, I look at it from a standpoint of 4th-round pick next year. Like you said, they're going to need a wide receiver. Cooks is probably not coming back. Tolbert, jury's still out on what he is. Is he a number 2 pick, number 2 receiver or not? they liked Mingo, obviously, from the scouting reports from last year. And, I just think they see it as we're going to get a receiver. We'll use a 4th-round pick to get a guy that's going to be 2 years into it and knows the system, because he'll know it by the time of next year rolls around. Now he'll have 2 more years left on his deal. I like that type of trade better than I like the Trey Lance trade, with just developing a guy really he had 2 years left on his deal. But it's not like quarterback is obviously not like receiver where you can't play multiple players and stuff like that. So I like this. I like this move if it's a guy that they feel like can come in and fit, and they do. They obviously feel that way. To have 2 years remaining on the deal is great for a 4th-round pick, and you're adding a 7th. I mean, I know that those picks aren't the same, but you're not losing the number of players. Again, you're swapping a 4th and a 7th. That is a very significant trade, but you're getting a guy that you feel like has 2nd-round talent. So from that standpoint, I like it. Again, this is not a move of trying to fix this 3-5 football team. That's not the way I see it, and that's not the way. I don't know if you guys should view it that way or not. I don't know if the Cowboys see it that way. If they're going to do that, then they would trade for players that are better players and giving up more draft capital. This is not a renting situation. They're buying this guy, and they're buying him for the future. So from that, I like. All right, let's go to Champ in Nebraska.
Nick, what is going on, man?
How you doing?
I'm good, bro. Oh, my gosh. Do you know how difficult it is to call into your show anymore? These guys that get in daily, I'm like, I don't know how they do it, but I haven't been able to get in for a couple of weeks. Had so much to catch up on about San Francisco I missed, and then last week, but you know what? I'm letting it all go.
All right.
Hey, I'm kind of happy with this trade. Everything you just said, it's nothing that we are going to, we didn't mortgage our whole future for it. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I do have a question. I'm wondering what you think we see out of Trey Lance moving forward. Before he was a 3rd quarterback, I don't think a lot of people understand that he was not going to play. You couldn't just put him in for a play or two to see what he would do in that situation. Now that he will be the backup, he can come in and come back out. What do you think we're going to see out of him moving forward, if anything? And also, who will our third emergency quarterback be until that gets back?
Right.
With that, I'll hang up. Great show, always. Missed you guys. Hope to get in a little more. But you guys take care and be blessed.
All right. Thank you so much. I do think that they will have to add a quarterback, at least for the practice squad, just to throw. But you don't have to have a third emergency quarterback. The Cowboys have gone several years sometimes without a whole season without having a third quarterback even dressed. You remember the rules were different back then, so you didn't always have to do that. So it could just be Cooper Rush and Trey Lance as far as in uniform. I don't know if they're going to add a quarterback to the roster just for that case. They could, especially now with Dak going to IR. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Now, as for Trey Lance, I think I would play him some. I'd figure out some packages to get him in the game. You're gonna have to piece this thing together. I don't think it's just Cooper Rush all the way. I mean, it can be, but if you want to see Trey Lance at all, and you want to also have a different kind of dimension, a dynamic there that he can run and do some things that you haven't been able to do, why not? I mean, you've got to trick this thing up. You've got to do things differently than it's been working before. And his preseason tape wasn't great at times. Obviously, there was that one last game. He had 5 interceptions in the game. He did have a 46-yard run for a touchdown, which was a really nice play. I mean, it took him like 12 steps to get there. I mean, he's such a long glider, but it would have been the longest. I mean, it's preseason, but if that was regular season game, it would have been the longest run in the history of the Cowboys by a quarterback. I mean, 46 yards. I mean, we're seeing Lamar Jackson do these kind of things, and these guys are running that far, but not from the Cowboys standpoint. So that is a dimension that they don't have, and maybe that's something that they can do in the game. All right, let's go to Gavin in Oklahoma City. Gavin.
Hey, Nick. Haven't got to listen since the game, but I'm sure you've had your share of wonderful calls these last 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's been up there.
I hope you haven't gotten any political calls either. I like politicians as much as I like the Eagles.
Yeah. Nah, we're good there. We're
Thank God.
good. Haven't heard anything about the election yet. Just yet.
That's amazing. Let's keep it like that. So I'm going to do something weird as a Cowboys fan right now, and I'm going to call you with some thoughts I have that are positive.
All right. We'll take that.
I know that we've been in this situation with Dak before. I know the season was a little bit different, but the team rallied around Cooper Rush when that happens, and they got some wins. So if we can maybe get these defensive reinforcements back and somehow, some way put together just a couple wins, we are not totally out of the picture, in my opinion. And yes, I'm not an idiot. I know things look bleak, and I also know that even when we had everybody at full go, things weren't looking good. But, I don't think the Cowboys should just go and start selling. I really think
they're not. I mean, Gavin, they're not going to do that. Jerry said it on the radio that they're not doing that, and they're adding players. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, I agree with you. I think they agree that they're gonna go for it. I mean, I don't know about go for it, but they're gonna go forward. They're gonna go forward. Continue to go forward on this.
Right, and I think that's the right approach because it's not over till it's over. We've seen weirder things happen in the NFL, but that's really all I got for you. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, thanks, Gavin. I appreciate it, and I think you have to have that attitude, or I mean, not everyone will. I mean, I understand that we'll have callers here the rest of this show that probably won't have that. That's fine, but the Cowboys, it's just there's just too much still going, still too much football to be played, and still too many things. It's just easy for a fan that has been a fan for 30, 40 years or whatever, because they, like I said this yesterday, they're not going anywhere, which is great. I mean, that should be, that's admirable. You're not going anywhere, but you can think that way. You can think, well, all right, this didn't work. This isn't poker where you're just like, nah, I don't like this hand. Throw it back. I'll wait for the next one. Cool. Hope I get 2 aces. Doesn't work that way. I mean, like for this season, like this is where they are this year. There's a lot of people still trying to win this year. There's livelihoods, there's jobs, there's things on the line that have to happen to get this thing kind of turned around. So and that's where the focus is, and that will remain the focus all season long. All right, let's go to Ben in Lehigh, Utah. Ben.
Hey Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, I just want to say about the show, I was super hesitant at first just because I've listened to you and Derek for like 15 years.
Okay.
And so it was weird to have you on the show without Derek, but this is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty nervous. You were just saying it's easy for nothing is easy about being a fan of this team, especially in Utah where there's not a lot of us. But I think at the beginning of the season or over the summer, I wish I had truth or growth that I could present here, but I think I was one of those who was like, nah, I don't know about Dak. I don't know about CD. I don't know about Micah. And, Bryce plays those games of sign one, trade one, cut one, whatever.
Right.
And I'm a coward. I want all three. I thought maybe Micah would be the one that we would try to trade, but after watching the last 5 weeks without him, I think he's way too important. And so I'm not about a fire sale. I don't want any trade. I don't want to give up any draft capital. I just want to see how people respond to this. And on the bright side, it just kind of takes the anxiety down week to week, and you just get to enjoy the ride a little bit, see how people respond to adversity, see if there is anything. I don't believe Mike will be back next year, but just see kind of what happens, if there is anything in the bones of the coaching staff and in the team that's worth building around outside of our big 3 to 5 players.
Yeah. Well, All right. That's good. That's good perspective. I appreciate that. And Ben, I would imagine this is first time caller for you, right?
Definitely first time for this. I think like 5 years ago I got it through to the lunch break, but
That
the
counts.
first
That
time
counts.
for you for sure.
That counts. There we go. From Dak, who's probably going to IR. So it's all right. All right. Thank you for the call, Ben, and I appreciate that perspective. It's and what I said about it's easy for fans. I didn't say it's easy for fans. I'm saying it's easy if you're a fan of 30, 40 years to just say, all right, this one's not working. Let's focus on next year. Let's trade. Let's get our picks for next year and all that. But it just this team, the owner, even ownership, coaches, players. I mean, they're not built that way. I mean, and I don't know if they should be built that way, honestly. So this is where the focus is now, and they'll try to piece this thing together, try to get a win. And that's the thing. Got to beat Philly. Got to beat Philly this week. And yeah, they're 6-2. Their record is good. I don't think they're that great. I mean, I don't think anybody is really. The Chiefs are 8-0, and we saw that game Monday night, and they don't look like unbeatable, but they haven't been beaten, which is great for them, and they're winning these close games. But I don't think there's anybody in the league that is just head and shoulders above anyone, especially against the Cowboys. So I think the Cowboys will take that and say, all right, let's go win a game. Yeah, Dak's out, and we're getting some other players back. Let's go win a game. All right, let's go to Keith in Fernandina Beach.
Fernandina Beach, Florida.
All right. I never said that before, so you know what that means. There we go. First time caller. What's up, Keith? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Nick. First time caller, long time listener. I love all of you guys' shows. But I have a question for you. Obviously, we are not sellers today. We're buyers.
Right.
What are the odds of us buying potentially a running back or maybe defensive tackle? What are your thoughts?
I don't think the Cowboys are necessarily done yet for Tuesday. I don't trade deadline here in a few hours. I don't think they're done. I could be wrong. I just got the sense maybe there's going to be more to it. So we'll see. Is that it for Keith? Keith, so there? Do you have another question or anything?
No, that is it. But basically, when I saw the trade this morning, I understand the trade. He's a young player. Again, you're kind of trading a potential second round guy for a fourth round, and I understand that and everything. But I just didn't feel like that wide receiver was our worst position. I feel like that our running back room and our defensive tackle rooms are light in talent, and I was just kind of hoping that they would upgrade that.
Well, Keith, I'm going to ask you this though. This is where as a front office GM, they're thinking ahead. You get to the offseason next year, and you're like CD, Jalen Tolbert. Let's just say his year kind of goes as it is. And then Jalen Brooks and Flanoy. Are you adding a receiver to that mix in free agency or the draft?
Yes.
Third or fourth round? Second round?
Possibly. I think the other two positions I just mentioned would probably be first, second, or third round.
Right.
But yeah.
And that's
good with that.
And I think that's the way I look at it. Like, hey, if you were to say, all right, next year you're going to need some help. Well, what if we get a fourth round pick next year, and he's ready to play? He's played 2 years, and he's played half a year in this system, so he's probably ready to go. That's what I like about that trade, is I see it as next year's fourth is for a ready to play, big body, go up and get the ball type of receiver. I'm fine with that.
I agree. I like the trade. I guess I'm like you. I would like to see a couple more today.
Okay, and that's fair. And that's because I don't know. I've seen Roy Williams, the receiver, get traded from Detroit mid-season, and he didn't really help a whole lot for that year. It's not easy. It's not easy for guys to come in as a receiver. Now, DeAndre Hopkins did it a little bit different. He's got a great quarterback. He understands the game. He's played really well in other systems. They did it to perfection. Not all receivers are going to be able to do that. So I don't know if you're going to get a lot of production out of him this year. I mean, some, but not a right away plug and play. It's hard when the wide receiver. We saw it in the game. If you watch the Chiefs game, thanks for the call, Keith. Thank you, appreciate his first call. But you saw from the game, even late in the game, Hopkins. He thought it was going to be a different route. He went deep, and Mahomes wanted to throw it quick. Those are the things that are going to happen with the quarterback and receiver. You really need a full offseason to kind of get that going. But I think he'll be able to help some. Like I said, big body guys, a 50-50 catch type guy, throw it up. So you might see some goal line, red zone type plays with him. But I don't mind the trade from that standpoint, knowing that you will need help next year, and you're going to get it with a fourth round pick of a receiver that should be better than any fourth round pick you're going to get next year. The downside is you have him for 2 years. And a little higher contract than you would from a fourth-year guy with 4-year contract. Let's go to Zach in Atlanta.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
How you doing, Zach?
Doing all right, man. Last time I called you, I had the Backstreet Boys song for you. We lost in San Francisco.
Thank you. You got that in my head like all day, so thanks.
Yeah, hey, that was the goal. But yeah, I'm feeling sad today, and if you were to ask me why, it ain't nothing but a heartache, man. It's it's one of those seasons. The Atlanta fans here, the Falcons fans, don't even want to talk trash to me. Like, it's just like
they don't even want to go to the game.
No.
There was a lot of empty seats for that game. I thought, wow. I mean, the Falcons got the Cowboys here. You can beat the Cowboys. They're having a good year, and you got an extra hour of sleep, so it's not like it was an early. I mean, come on. I thought it was interesting.
I know. We thought they were going to turn out in droves, but all that to say, it is what it is. Watching the Chiefs game last night and just over the years, everything is clean, everything is crisp, there's no mistakes. I get you have an all-world quarterback and a great coach, but it'd just be nice to see that on the Cowboys. I mean, the pre-snap penalties were atrocious. Just seems like we can't get out of our own way for many years now, not just the Mike McCarthy era. Seems like there's always something, but it's a roller coaster where the wheels have fallen off, but I am buckled in. I can't undo my harness, and we're trucking along, man. I'm a storyliner. I'm a diehard.
I know.
I'm going to keep calling in. I love this team. I've loved them for 31 years, and it just sucks. So that's all I got, man.
That's it.
Appreciate you doing what you do, and Beam, and y'all showing up for us and giving us the space to process and talk football and lament and celebrate. So yeah, man. The Mingo trade, not crazy on it. I think we have Ryan Flanoy. Maybe he can. And I feel like they're similar type players. I saw a stat. Mingo hasn't had a touchdown in his NFL career. He's a year and a half into it. The Panthers' offense is not stellar, but that's a little disappointing. Maybe he'll flourish in Dallas, but time will tell. All right, man. That's all I got. Have a great day. Y'all take care.
All right, thank you. I obviously, the Panthers. What they see is a guy that didn't. They probably thought he would be much further along, maybe help the young quarterbacks, and also Andy Dalton has played there some for them as well. So whatever it is, I mean, sometimes you just need a fresh start. Again, this is not a second round pick. As far as the Cowboys are giving a second round pick, they're giving next year's fourth, and the fourth round pick has been interesting. I'll talk about that when we come back after our next break. But before we do that, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob, what's up?
Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
I mean, this pick is, I don't know. It's nothing. It's a guy. I think a fourth is way too high for somebody like this. But I get it. They paid extra because he's cheap. But you said something about he fits the system.
No,
there is no system.
I don't know. I don't think I said he fits the system. I think he would know the system. He would know.
I know, but the problem with that is that system is going bye-bye
he'll know Dak
in a few months.
Okay, he'll know Dak then. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
He'll know.
I don't
He'll
want
know the
them to
players.
Don't build around this coaching staff. They're gone. And that's why don't invest any capital until you hire a new coach. Let him have a say on who he wants, what his vision of this team is. I don't want Jerry's vision. That vision is bad. I want a new head coach's vision. And save this draft capital. A fourth-round pick is big. Now, you want to go trade Cooks today and maybe get back a fifth? I think that would be a great move. You want to put Bland or Diggs up for trade because Bland has got one more year left. I doubt you're going to sign him to $25 million plus. So you want to make a move like that for the future and get a high draft pick. I think that's great. We know this team doesn't use free agency, so they're going to need as many picks as they can because they're about 6 players away. Now you got to replace Zach Martin. You may have to replace Terrence Steele. So there's 2 guys that maybe you weren't sure, you didn't think they may have to replace. So I don't want them to make any moves. You're not saving Mike McCarthy's job. I can't believe Jerry comes out and says, I have full confidence. No, you don't, because you didn't pay him. So you don't have full confidence in him. So stop with that. Let's just let it ride. Being a fan now, I think I said I used to watch the games and, I wouldn't even eat because I'd be all excited. Now you watch these games like while you're doing something else because, unfortunately, they're easy. They're easy to watch now. You don't expect much.
All right.
So you just sit back and
it doesn't seem easy to me. I don't know.
Well, it's when you want the Cowboys, when you expect the Cowboys to be good, every game you're into it because you're expecting something bigger, playoff, Super Bowl. Now you're going to be watching players. You're going to be looking at this guy. Oh, let's see how, is Guyton getting any better?
Yeah.
You start looking at it totally different. I don't expect this team to go on any kind of winning streak with Cooper Rush. They weren't good with your $60 million quarterback. So, to me, let's see what happens. It's kind of relaxing, unfortunately. And if you're a fan that's relaxed, that means the team is pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for the call. I'll never tell anybody how to fan. You fan however you want. So you can watch the games, whatever. And believe me, like I watch the games, when I'm a fan of a team, I watch the games differently. I got my own kind of ritual. I do things. I turn it off. I'll go outside. I'll walk. I'll do whatever I need to do to kind of to what I think might work in the situation and kind of trick yourself into I don't care, that kind of stuff. I've tried that once before, and I've tried that several times before. It doesn't always work. You can't kind of change your heart on what you believe. So I get it. Like, you're not as invested, or some of the fans won't be, but we'll see though. It's kind of hard to get that out of your system when they kick off. You still kind of, I think you revert back to it. That's what's being a fan's all about. All right, let's go take our break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back to take more calls.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together, we cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Friday, November 15th at AT&T Stadium, you can watch Jake Paul take on Mike Tyson. Limited tickets are available at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium. All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. We've got another caller on the line, so let's go right back to the phone here. We got Steve in New York. Steve, what's up?
Hey, what's up, pal?
How you doing?
All right. Just quick point, and of course the trivia. I'm staying positive. I just too much negativity. I hear you, 3-5. But Dak made a comment earlier in the year. I don't know what game it was after. It said, be a fan. Just be a fan. And as to the previous caller, I'm never relaxed watching a Cowboy game.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, 88, 89, the worst years. I'm never relaxed. That's what being a fan is.
Yep.
And the other thing I don't like, and I know you don't do this either, but the people who are saying and I don't even use the word tank, lose for the draft pick. No, I don't even care when they're eliminated. I am never going to root or hope that they don't win a game. That's not my that's not the fan I am, and I hope most people are like that, who are watching.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it as well. But I understand that. You do understand we're like, man, if they won the game, they'll pick 15th. If they lose, they'll pick 10th. I get that, but I just look at it like just tell me where you're picking and it's fine. But I mean, I'm going to try to win the game. That's
I'll just say this: I remember last game of the '88 season. I remember because Aikman. I'm pretty sure UCLA was in the Cotton Bowl that year because I remember Aikman talking to Landry actually prior to that, and it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that they were drafting Aikman if they had the number one pick, and they had to lose to Philly that day. And even that day, I was like, I wasn't rooting against them, and they actually did lose on the last day, and did get that pick. And real quick, the trivia. Now, believe it or not, 35 years ago today, RFK Stadium, 1989, Cowboys got their only win of the 1-15 season. Now, we know who the quarterback was. And Walsh. Do you remember who the leading rusher was who scored the only touchdown in that game? I know you do.
I do. Yeah. Paul Palmer. Number 26 out of Temple. He was a great college player, and I bounced around a little bit with some other teams. But, yeah. Paul Palmer scored. Steve Walsh, 13-3.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I don't. I'm sorry. What?
What I loved about that is in the newspaper the next day. If you're an old person like me, you remember this old TV show called 8 is Enough, and that was the headline because they were 0-8 and they won that game. So 8 is enough. They finally won a game. I'll never forget that. I actually used that. I stole that headline for my college paper when our team was 0-8 and won. I stole that like 10 years later. But whatever. That's what I remember out of that game. But yeah, Paul Palmer.
Yeah, and I'm not a big stat person, but that number, I think he led the team with 400 and some odd yards rushing for the year. We are going to beat that this year, right? Because I think he led the team with 400. I think he was a leading rusher with about 400.
I'm going to find that for you here real quick. 446, Palmer.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow.
Holy. How about this one? You know who was second with 302 rushing yards?
It's got to be like the quarterback or something.
Troy Aikman. And he only played 300 yards. He was rushing. Probably got sacked 80 times. But, yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. Have a good one, Nick.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day, Steve. Appreciate that. Always like to look back. Lester in Minnesota's next. Lester, what's up? Lester.
Hello?
What's up? You're on. What's up, man?
Hey. I'm going to be positive as well. I think that Cooper Rush, he came in a 3 years ago and he won. We went 4-1, and he could have easily went 5-0, but Philadelphia spoiled us right there. And I'm not a component of selling either. I understand what Rod was saying, but as I always say, we need to have an offensive and defensive line, good to very good at the same time. So I feel like we have a glaring need on the defensive line. So maybe if we're still going to be trading today or whatever we're going to do, maybe we should look at that part. I still think we could beat Philly. I'm on the hopium. So I think the score, if we keep it low, I'm going to go 14-10. All right, and that's all I got.
All right.
Thanks, man.
I see that being the score in the second quarter of the game, 14-10. I think it's going to be hard for the Cowboys to keep that offense to low scoring. I mean, a high scoring game I don't think bodes well for the Cowboys either. So it probably for me somewhere in the middle. But it's going to have to take turnovers and weird plays, fluky plays like that. I think Philadelphia, like I said before, I mean, their defense looks like it's a little bit vulnerable this year. You're seeing some teams score on them, but you're also seeing their offense, kind of get it together too. And so they've been kind of tough to figure out. But I know that they did have an injury there in A.J. Brown. I know he left the game. I don't know if he came back. I know he did not come back. I'm not sure what his status is, but I think Hurts is a tough dynamic, and then Barkley. And I still can't believe that play. Like, did that really happen? That highlight that I saw, that almost looked like fake. Like you see that in the movies. Like he really jumped over someone backwards like that. Maybe I dreamt that. That was like the craziest play I've ever seen. I need to check that out again. Let's go to another phone call though. Josh in Chicago. Josh, what's up?
Hey Nick, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. I know it's been said, but man, your show is tough to get into the past few weeks.
Thank you. I guess it's a thank you. I mean, thanks to the fans is what it is. Thank you to the fans that keep calling, and I think they like to get in here and have fun and talk about the team, vent, whatever it is. So I like it, and I appreciate that it's popular and tough to get in. I think that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I think some of the other shows are jealous because they keep trying to do fans calls on the break or
I'm starting to see that.
or talking or other shows. So,
but you know what? I'm fine with that too because, like you just said, not everybody can get in. Everybody, like, I want to hear. I got some points too, and whether it's this show, maybe it's another show. Like that's fine too. At least you have an opportunity to get in. And I see some other shows taking calls. I think that's a good thing, honestly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So the point I was going to make really quick, I just wanted to say, especially with Dak possibly heading to the IR, they really need somebody to step up and be a leader. I think what Trayvon did last week after the incident with Mike Leslie, burying the hatchet and stuff really showed his leadership. And hopefully Micah can come back and kind of show his leadership and his value in that realm. And maybe even Zeke needs to say something to the team to address what happened, and possibly, one of those guys stepping up and saying like, hey, Dak's going to be down for a while. I'm going to be the leader of this team, and kind of put it on the back because we still have a lot of season to go. And, I know some people are giving up and whatever, that fan how you want to fan, but there's still a lot of season left to be played, a lot of games, a lot of division games left to be played. So it's not over yet. And, hopefully we can pull out some wins here. Go Cowboys.
Sure. Yeah. All right. I appreciate the call there, Josh. Good stuff for sure. And leadership's always a tough thing. It's tough to qualify, and you kind of have to. It's got to be in your DNA to be that type of guy. I think there's some. There's guys that can do it and step up. I think more than anything, the leadership it's got to happen out here at practice. It's got to happen in the middle of the week. It's got to happen, when they're preparing for games, and wherever that's coming from, they've got to be a better team to prepare, and they got to be ready for the Eagles or any team that they're facing. And that's just what hasn't been happening, is that this team doesn't look prepared, and they're not coming out and they're not playing well to start a game. So, and it's obviously now and they're not really good enough to play from behind. Let me take one more break here on the Cowboys Storyline. We'll be back. A couple more calls to wrap it up.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Stay connected with the Dallas Cowboys on your connected TV. Catch up on all the Cowboys content like player interviews, weekly TV shows, podcasts, docuseries such as Deep Blue, and much more. Download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. All right, back here, Cowboys Storyline. We've got another caller on the line, Brett in Frisco, Texas. Brett, what's up?
How are you, Nick? How are you doing today?
I'm good. First-time caller?
First-time caller, yes, sir.
All right.
Here we go.
What do you got?
Hey, Mr. Nick. Hey, I just wanted to say, me and my boys, a couple of boys, we actually started our own podcast about the Cowboys, and just wanted to give a huge shout-out to you. You were a huge inspiration behind us. We listen to your the Storyline all the time, and we just wanted to, give you a shout-out, say thanks for the motivation and, the inspiration. We've learned a lot from you.
Thank you.
Just tuned in now. I'm not sure if you already answered this question, but what is the realistic expectation for this Dallas Cowboys offense with seems like Cooper Rush at the helm of things? Like, what should we be expecting as Cowboys fans? That's all I got for you today, Nick.
What's the name of your podcast?
Our podcast is We Dem Boys with a Z.
Nice. I feel like I'm honestly a little bit surprised that that's the name of it. Like there isn't another one already that's been developed on that. Cool. We Dem Boys. All right. Well, good luck with your podcast for sure. Thanks for the call and the question. Realistic expectations for the Cowboys offense. I think it's if the defensive guys weren't coming back, this was going to be really, really tough. It's already going to be tough. But I do think the defense should be better, and they're playing a little bit better. You're starting to see some guys play better. I like what I'm seeing out of Lawson. And he doesn't have a real defensive end pass rusher on the other side. Golston, I still think, is kind of playing out of position. So I'd like to see what Lawson's doing now. You get Micah coming back. I want to see Diggs and Bland together like once. That'd be nice. I want to see what the safeties look like when you have those corners and the pass rushers there. So I say all that to answer the offensive question. I think if the defense can be better, I don't think that they can just shut it down and the Cowboys score 15 points, 17 points and win a game. They're going to have to score some points, but I think you'll see a little bit more ball control. And what's interesting is you'll probably see more shots down the field. I think that is something that Cooper Rush does well. But you have to run the ball a little bit to get some of that play action. But I will say I think you're going to see some more deep shots. And that's where I think Tolbert can come into play. Obviously CD, maybe Jalen Brooks. Who knows if Mingo's ready to go? I don't know. He could be. All right, let's go to Pastor Tolles. He's in Montgomery, Alabama. Pastor Tolles, what's up?
Hi, how you doing there?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And listen,
good to hear from you.
As I said before, I've been a Cowboy fan ever since I was 12 years old. But anyway, to make a long story short, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys would string off 3 or 4 games in a row now. And it's not because I know people love controversy that the quarterback that they will put in would be so much better than Dak. I just think that the play calling is going to change. I think they're going to govern it down a little bit, and run the ball and stick to it. And then I think that quarterback, he has a good deep ball. He can throw some good shots. And I just think that's what's going to happen. Now, there's always something going on around Dallas, and so that would be a good controversy. People love that, so it just seems like it's set up to happen. So, but I'm a fan, so let it happen. Let's just win 3 or 4 games, and I'll be okay.
All right. I like it. I mean, Lord knows we need. I'll take 1 game right now, much less 2 or 3 or 4. But I like it. And I think it. You know, I don't know how realistic that is right now. I mean, but I do think, you know, you can't win 3 without winning 1, and I think they're all winnable. But I just don't think this team is showing enough consistency to like string 2 or 3 together. I mean, they had a game against Pittsburgh. They played really well against a good football team on the road, dramatic win, and then come back and lose 47-9. I mean, yeah. That ridiculous loss against the Lions. The Lions are playing great football. The Lions probably are the best football team in the NFL right now. I would think so. I would think they would be maybe even favored to beat the Chiefs if they were to play. I think they're that good. But you know, it was a horrific loss, and so for the Cowboys to play the way they did in that game, coming off a win, that just shows their lack of consistency right now. They can't even string together a drive here. They can't even get the ball, go down the field. I mean, you saw the first drive of the game the other day. Oh, nice. Wow. Jake Ferguson up the middle, you know. Thought he might score for a second, but great play. And then here comes Rico, and he makes a guy miss. And then another pass to Ferguson. It's just boom, 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 down into the red zone. And then they can't do anything, and then they kick a field goal. And then it kind of, you know, like at that point, you're like, wow, the defense got to stop. The offense goes and does that. It's looking good. And then they kick a field goal, and then they go score, and it's kind of like, yeah, this is the game I remember. And so that's just what I'm trying to say is you know, it's just been kind of hard for them to build any kind of consistency. All right, well, we built a pretty good show today. I appreciate everybody calling in and their perspectives, and you know, it's different, but that's fine. I mean, we're all different in the way we think on stuff like that. Cowboys to kind of reset a little bit. The Cowboys did make a trade. Or they're finalizing the trade. Should be done maybe by now, but they've traded for wide receiver Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers. They'll send a 4th-round pick next year, 2025, for him, and they'll get a 7th-round pick in return. Remember, they're going to get about 4 comp picks next year, and maybe even as high as a 4th-rounder for one of them with some of these free agents that they lost. So you're talking about starting running back, Tony Pollard, and things like that. So they might have a 4th-round pick also there as well. So still, they're going to get a guy like Jonathan Mingo who's got 2 years left on his contract. So I think that's probably the upside of what they like out of that move. All right, we'll talk about it all tomorrow. See if the Cowboys make some more moves here. We'll see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?